This video is brought to you by Virtual Shield's VPN service. A VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and it's basically an app that you install on your computer or mobile device that encrypts your information and protects it from hackers and greedy websites trying to track your data. Having a VPN can save you from instances like your credit card information being found or somebody hacking into your home security system. Cheap, helpful, extremely easy to use. Check out Virtual Shield's VPN on sale now. Links will be in the description below. What's up, everyone? I'm still getting used to using this live streaming software. First of all, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to everybody that reached out to me via email and message after that video I uploaded a couple of days ago. Much appreciated, but I did want to say, don't worry. Everything's all right. Everything's good. You know, I didn't have to upload that video, but I thought about it and I decided to do it because just a lot of people out there I noticed were feeling the same way. So I wanted to show them that they weren't alone. And also because I just wanted to show some realness. You know, there's so much fake. There's so many fronts that people put on in the alternative / conspiracy media world. It's just weird, and I don't want that to be me. So anyway, that's that. That's done. It's time to get back into uploading some crazy shit on this YouTube channel. And as for this one, we're going to get into, you know, a bunch of different articles, bunch of different news stories. One thing I'm going to do in these videos, new from now on, is that, believe it or not, I do read the YouTube comments on these videos, some of them. And I was scrolling through one the other day, and I noticed somebody suggested that I timestamp when I discuss certain topics under the video. And I thought that was a damn good idea. So that's what I'm going to start doing coming up. I know a lot of people are busy. They don't have all the time in the world to watch a 30, 45-minute video. And, you know, they just want to watch a few minutes about what they're interested in and what they have enough time for. So from now on, after these vids are done, check the description. I'll add in the timestamp of when I talk about certain things. So there you go. Make it easier for everybody. And getting into what to talk about in this one, we're going to go through some new Q. We're going to go through, you know, just whatever's gone on the past couple of days. So let's bring up our internet articles here. And the first thing I want to discuss is our Q proof of the day. And our Q proof of the day, you know, so many of them happen these days. You can't even talk about them all. It's just what's the coolest one. And this just happened a couple hours ago, so check this out. Lara Trump, that is Eric Trump's wife, that is the president's son's wife, the president's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, she straight up tweeted one of Joe M's videos. Maybe not a Q proof, maybe this is a Joe proof, whatever you want to call it, but Lara Trump tweeted out Joe M's latest video, The Best Is Yet to Come. Woo-hoo-hoo! I bet Joe's excited. I know he is. I'm excited for this one. Holy crap. This is huge. You know, that storm, it's like you can see it by now. That's just right offshore. And man, yeah, that's crazy that we've come to this point now. We'll see what the media does with this one. Those mainstream media hyenas. It was just a couple of hours ago she tweeted this. So we'll see what they have to say throughout the day or this weekend about that. Getting into Q's post. We're going to back it up a few days here because I just love this video that Q linked. This was from Tuesday on the 18th. And Q linked this YouTube video from a channel called Awakening Greatly. And I'm a big fan of this particular brand. It's a pretty new brand. I think they made their Twitter account just a few weeks ago. Same thing with this channel. This is only their 4th video, but it's called Ask the Q, and it's a 10-minute video that's just an incredible production, uses great music, uses great sound bites. This took them some work. This took them some while to do, but it's an incredible video, and shout out to them as well. They used a couple frames of me in there. You got Praying Medic, you got Red Pill 78, pretty much everybody, man. You know, Dilly in there, Polly, Nemo, so awesome video. It's funny, I saw this on Tuesday when it just had 150 views, I think. I saw it right when they uploaded it. And then later on that day, Q linked it. Now it has 350,000 views. Shows you the power of a back channel, right? The power of Q. Getting back into these drops. 3874, this is from Wednesday now. Trump knows something is coming. So Q links a tweet from Nate Kane. Nate Kane is our Clinton Foundation whistleblower. He blew the whistle on some Uranium One details in regards to the Clinton Foundation a while back. So look into his story. It's a good dude. But anyway, he posted this on Twitter of Trump at one of his recent rallies. This one in Phoenix a couple nights ago. And he said, I hope you're going to be happy. Hope you're going to be happy. It's been pretty neat to watch how they've been changing some of their terminologies, their new slogan, the best is yet to come. I hope you're going to be happy. They're signaling huge things, man. Huge things. And I know Q is saying a lot of that same stuff. Game over. This spring, summer is going to be very hot. So, fun stuff coming. Next drop here, Q links a tweet, and let's take a look at that tweet. This one was from the New York Times reporter. So this is a New York Times reporter putting out a New York Times article about Wexner. Les Wexner, Jeffrey Epstein's friend, Victoria's Secret, big brand, CEO. This particular New York Times article just says here, Angels in Hell, the culture of misogyny inside Victoria's Secret. A Times investigation found widespread bullying and harassment of employees and models. So, that's the New York Times narrative. What does Q say? Q says Epstein, Wexner, bolded and in the brackets. The story goes much deeper and much darker. So I think Q said that because, number one, Les Wexner just stepped down from his brands. So, little foreknowledge there. Another Q proof. But number two is that anytime you see a New York Times article, especially when it's a New York Times article about something important, like, we're over here. Something important like an Epstein situation, Les Wexner. Remember the New York Times breaking their UFO stories, and they break all these Russia stories. We're not done with the New York Times and Russia. But they always try to whitewash it, sanitize it, put out some, get ahead of the story, put out some twisted narratives about it. And Q's saying it goes a lot deeper and darker because it's not just about widespread bullying or some misogynistic culture or, harassment of models. We're talking trafficking, folks. We're talking, these are 6 sociopathic billionaires who are procuring victims, and they promise them fame and fortune and all this money if you do the certain thing, but they're just hunting. They're just sick folk doing that. And, it connects through so many different circles, political circles, the fashion industry, music industry, all of it, man. Sick stuff. Moving on here, this next post, Q is thanking the bakers, thanking the Anons, thanking the people who are putting in work on 8kun. They're saying the best is yet to come as well. Regarding the mainstream media, when facts and truth are not on your side, what tactics must be deployed and what visibly happens regarding hidden rats during a fire? Well, the tactics that are deployed, attack, psyops, getting ahead of the story. One of those tactics is false flags, as we have here in this next drop. Q saying, here we go again. This was yesterday with the shooting in Germany. Here's one thing they do when their narratives are failing. German mass shooter, they're claiming in the media, talked about a conspiracy theory that sounds a lot like QAnon in the Trump world. That's why Q is linking this bullshit right here. Sounds like QAnon in the Trump world. Let's take a look at this German shooting real quick. So here's what the mainstream media is claiming about it. They're saying the shooter was a German neo-Nazi terrorist who shot 9 dead. How did he get that gun in Germany? I want to know. Shot 9 dead before killing his mother and himself. Of course, suicide, great. And they're saying he was a far-right conspiracy theorist who believed in aliens, mind control, and secret U.S. bases where children are sacrificed to Satan. Holy crap. And they're saying he had a manifesto that he posted. Big surprise there. So here's a question. Since when is believing in aliens far right? I want to know when that started becoming a thing. Again, hasn't the New York Times and like all the mainstream media been sort of normalizing or confirming UFOs, ETs the past couple of years, but now it's far right? I don't know. Seems like real weird contradiction. Things that don't make sense. And also, let's see if they have a photograph. Yeah, here's the alleged shooter here. There was a video I saw. This is a screenshot of it that you see posted up here. I watched his video of his supposed manifesto. It was like a manifesto video. They're saying it was posted to a now deleted website, so who knows what the heck that was or that means. But okay, here's the, again, alleged shooter, because, you know, the things they tell us. I'm not going to automatically believe it. And when I saw this video, it was clearly obvious that he was reading from a script. And, you know, it was so cold. He was blinking a lot, all sorts of physical cues that something wasn't right. And in the video as well, again, he didn't mention QAnon, so it's pretty absurd that dudes like this are trying to link it to QAnon. And not just that, but he brought up deep underground military bases, and he brought up all these things. It wasn't political, but again, they're calling it far right and trying to shove it into that box. And are deep underground military bases far right? Like, I don't know. I don't hardly hear anybody in the right wing and the Republican aisle, you know, talk about those sorts of things. So just more psyops, more false flags. We had Christchurch, then we had El Paso, then we had, more that I'm forgetting here, but there's been too many of them, far too many of them in the past couple of years. You want to stop these mass shootings? You don't ban guns. You get the swamp drained. All right? Q says, what happens when billion-dollar media companies attack and miss? All for a few thousand followers, as the media has been saying about Q lately. There's just a few thousand people into it. A few thousand. I've done enough talks over the past couple of years, and I've talked about Q each one, and there's been, I've met thousands of people just myself. So that 1,000 narrative is horse shit. All for a conspiracy. A public awake is their greatest fear. And then we have 2 more drops. These ones coming last night. I've gotten early bedtime, so sometimes I miss these night ones. Q links a tweet. Says the puzzle is coming together. We get a Q proof. Another one here. Kash Patel. So Brog the Frog on Twitter saw this one. Back in June of 2018, this was nearly 2 years ago. Almost 2 years. Q gave us that name, Kashyap Patel, a name to remember. And now that name's in the news. Breaking now, Kash Patel, a former National Security Council official who also played a key role as a Hill staffer in helping the GOP discredit the Russia probe, is now a senior advisor for the new acting director of national intelligence, Richard Grenell. A lot of people aren't happy. A lot of deep staters, swamp folk, they're not happy with Richard Grenell's appointment to acting DNI, and probably why, because he's got people around him who know some things, like Kash Patel. So, 1.5 years ago, man, that's crazy. 1.5 years. And it's also impressive that people remember the drops from 1.5 years ago. I'm most impressed with that. Like this person remembering Kash Patel's name and then searching it, finding the Q proof. So the puzzle is coming together. Most definitely is. And then there was that right there. Q says the primary purpose of referencing Twitter accounts. This is expanding on that note. So the primary purpose of referencing Twitter accounts is because that's how the information gets out there to millions of people. The research is posted and conducted on 8kun. There's not very many people on 8kun, maybe, thousands, tens of thousands. Brilliant minds there, but they're staying anonymous, they're doing the digging, and they're posting their research to 8kun. But now we have the next step, getting it out to a wider audience. You see, each step is just as important as all the other ones in this. So people on Twitter are taking that research from 8kun and Q's drops and whatever's posted there, getting it out to a wider audience that can get retweeted around. Q will find tweets, link them to send hundreds of thousands of people to them to get it retweeted thousands of times, right? This is the power of the back channel, the way they're helping to control that narrative, control the narrative of truth. So, a lot of people They'll try to discredit Q by calling it a psyop, and to me that doesn't discredit anything because I'm just sitting there like, well, yeah, textbook definition, Q is a psyop. It's a psychological operation, but that doesn't mean it's telling us lies. That doesn't mean it's telling us misinformation. Semantics. And then last drop we got, this one from last evening, 6 p.m. Q is talking to an Anon here. The Anon says they fear an awake public. Each Q proof proves our strength as well. Thank you, Q and Q+. Q says, you have come far, Anons. You are ready. They link a YouTube link to the White Squall movie, Where We Go On, We Go All. Then Q says, prepare for the storm. Ooh! Ooh, those words got me excited too. Prepare for the storm, game over. Again, prepare for a very hot spring and summer. A lot of stuff's coming up. A lot of stuff. And I think it's going to be more than just maybe an arrest. I don't know who the first arrest is going to be too. A lot of people have been speculating, theorizing on who the first big one might be. I think Soros. I think it might be Soros. That could be something that definitely sets the tone internationally too. Because then it's checking people across seas. It's not just here. We'll see. But a lot of stuff will be coming to light. And then one thing that's coming to light too lately, we're going to segue off into Q's drops, talking about some of the articles getting into. We were just talking about Epstein and Wexner and how it goes deeper and darker. And again, it expands out all over the place. This is a few days old, but I have not talked about it on this channel yet. This is Peter NyGard. This dude has some accusations coming out against him about raping and sex abuse of aspiring models and underage girls. So if you haven't heard about who Peter NyGard is or familiar with him, he's a huge fashion mogul. His net worth is like near $1 billion, 800, 900 million, something like that. He's got a freaking mansion in the Bahamas on an island there. Like, he's basically being called the Canadian Jeffrey Epstein. And if you look at this dude, he just looks like a creepy Canadian version, tanned version of a Jeffrey Epstein, and totally is. Now, he has not been arrested. These are just accusations, but nevertheless, they're getting, it's a legit lawsuit, it looks like, and of course, wouldn't be surprised with him because look at this connection. Wow! Who would have thunk? Peter NyGard is connected to Prince Andrew. You only need a few degrees of separation to connect all these freaking deep state globalist cabal folk, don't you? Prince Andrew's visit to second tycoon facing child rape claims, Peter NyGard. He's got a big mansion in the Bahamas. There's a photograph of Prince Andrew and Peter NyGard. Just, my gosh. My gosh. And to all the people out there who think nothing is happening, what rock do you live under? You have to live under like a very big rock that you just have not crawled out of for years. Because let's just backtrack a sec. I posit this question to you for people who don't believe in Q or don't believe in, that President Trump is fighting the trafficking and fighting this type of dark occult stuff. Would Jeffrey Epstein have been arrested in the first place if Hillary Clinton was president? Let me posit you that. If she was president, would Jeffrey Epstein have even been arrested, period? No! My gosh! That never would have happened. Tons of stuff over the last 3 years never would have happened if, we hadn't gone down this path and we went down the other path that could have happened 3.5 years ago. All these CEOs wouldn't be resigning. All these folks wouldn't have been forced out or fired out of the DOJ and the FBI and the other three-letter agencies. All these people wouldn't have been, all the human trafficking busts and these sorts of things wouldn't have been happening. So just logic, folks, logic. I know it seems like it's been a little slow, but that's just because you're not really looking at it, from a real perspective. Maybe some people you never heard of have been arrested and whatnot, but you got to look at who they are and who they really connect to. And sure, the name you want, Hillary Clinton or John Brennan or something, isn't behind bars quite yet, but you're going to look back in 3 years and say, holy crap, we undid decades or centuries or millennia of corruption in like 8 years. Yeah. Moving on. Speaking of fake news, New York Times, bringing them back into the picture. Here is this just little crock of shit that they put out yesterday. Lawmakers are warned that Russia is meddling to re-elect Trump. They won't give it up. It's Russia again. They're trying to say Russia is meddling in the 2020 elections just like they meddled in the 2016 elections. Incredible. Incredible. And speaking of which, Q did post this drop a few days ago as well. Let me scroll down and find it here. That one. They posted, or I guess redropped, posted one of their own drops, a screenshot of it a few days ago. This was on the 17th. So check out that Time cover. It was a Time magazine cover where they acted like Russia's taken over the White House. Huh. It's like Q knew that this horseshit was going to be coming. And there you go. Maggie Haberman. Mikey. She kind of looks like a Mikey, doesn't she? Maggie Haberman of the New York Times. Big surprise. They're saying that intelligence officials were warning House lawmakers last week that Russia is interfering in the 2020 campaign. Yeah, they knew this was coming. Terrible stuff. Speaking of fake news, how about this headline from WaPo? You might have seen the first headline, but did you know they changed it? So the Washington Post, they're the two worst. New York Times and the Washington Post. NBC is pretty bad too. We'll talk about NBC in a sec. The Washington Post, they put out this opinion article the other day, and just the headline of it made it go viral. It's time to give the elites a bigger say in choosing the president. That was literally their headline. It's time to give the elites a bigger say. They didn't change this headline for like a day after it started getting shared around, and then they realized, oh, might not be good to print that. So we'll print this instead. And they changed it to, it's time to switch preference primaries. Oh, WaPo, you're so fake. I actually just found a bot on Twitter, and this bot actually tracks the New York Times and when they change their headlines and change different things in their articles. So it'll automatically tweet when the New York Times changes something in an article. Incredible bot. I wish I had this for like every mainstream news organization there was. But I found one for the New York Times. I'll link it down below. It's really helpful to see how they will reword things after the fact to try to change the context of it and make it fit their narratives more. It's absurd, the kind of linguistic programming they do. Moving on to NBC here. Twitter is testing new ways to fight misinformation, including a community-based points system. Here's your gold star for towing the line. Here's your gold star for towing the line. Oh, wow, here's your gold star. And check out who wrote this article. Him again. Ben Collins. He's so greasy. He stutters so much. You ever seen him on NBC trying to talk about Q? He's like, Q is a conspiracy. And the funniest thing about Ben Collins, he's so weak. His Twitter banner, I don't know if it still says this. He blocked me, but his Twitter banner used to be a photograph of a plane flying a banner that says, "Unblock me, you coward." And like I said, he just blocked me. He's blocked me. He's blocked a ton of people. He's so weak. Basically, what Twitter's going to do here is put a colored badge around tweets that they claim is misinformation. This is similar to what YouTube has been doing for a year or two now with Wikipedia cards under videos that are conspiracy theory videos. So they'll literally link Wikipedia under it as if Wikipedia is credible. I think everybody learned in high school that Wikipedia is not credible. You don't source it. I guess YouTube does, and that's good enough for them. Twitter is going to be, I guess, having their own fact checkers doing the same thing, putting colored badges on tweets. So I guess my timeline's about to look like a rainbow. I guess, isn't that kind of counterintuitive, though, too? Like, you're putting a colored badge on what is misinformation, so that's going to draw people into it. So it's like a really dangerous game they're playing. Oh, crap, more people are going to be reading this stuff, and yeah, we'll call it misinformation, but it's just going to get the information spread more. I don't know what they're trying to do. And one more thing on the social media corporations. So William Barr the other day suggested that these big tech corporations, Google, Facebook, Twitter, that includes YouTube, these titans no longer need a legal shield. I'll clap for it right now, but I really hope they do something about this. It's about time to act. I mean, it was about exactly 2 years ago when I first got my YouTube account terminated for the first time. 2 years ago. I just hope that they start acting and hitting these companies for whatever, the monopolization, the censorship, the demonetization. Just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And last couple of things, we're going to talk about coronavirus, and then I'm going to show you a really cool video. So, coronavirus conspiracy theories. They are so threatening. They're so bad that a lab in China is saying that these conspiracy theories are hurting efforts to curb the virus. Well, first of all, they have internet in China. Like, how is this lab even getting on the internet to read the conspiracy theories? Shouldn't they be focused on their work? That's the stupidest excuse I've ever heard. An outbreak of disinformation in China and elsewhere has hurt global efforts to combat the new coronavirus. Come on, China, you got your firewall, you got your, come on, communist internet. Should be no problem to you. And then the incredible thing as well is that these conspiracy theories are going mainstream too. So Tom Cotton, senator on Fox News the other day, he was actually saying that we don't know where this coronavirus originated. He was even saying about the virology institute that's there in Wuhan, China, questioning, well, what if it was leaked or what if it was deliberate, something like that. That's big to bring up, especially on Fox News too. So, my gosh, people like me have been getting attacked for weeks now. They've been calling us conspiracy theorists and crazy people for saying these sorts of things. Now it's on Fox. Oh, he's getting called a conspiracy theorist too. Washington Post. Tom Cotton keeps repeating a coronavirus conspiracy theory that was already debunked. It was debunked? Who debunked it? When did it get debunked? Because if I remember correctly, those coronavirus patents that I found, that I tweeted about, that I got attacked for, they're real patents. Oh, man. That indictment that was unsealed against that Harvard professor that was taking $50,000 a month from China and even training students at that virology institute in Wuhan. That's a real indictment. You can find that on the DOJ's website. So, coronavirus conspiracy theories. Any conspiracy theories are a good time. Definitely a good time. And last thing I'm going to show you guys, and then we'll finish up here. This video is freaking incredible. And I'm just going to play it, and I'm just going to watch it with you. This is the coolest thing. One of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. A dude legitimately has some basically rockets, some jets on wings on his back in Dubai, and he just takes off. He goes horizontal, and then he goes vertical. He goes 6,000 feet up in the air. This isn't the long version of the video, but you can find the long one. It is really freaking cool. So, number one, that's awesome, but I'm going to be just the realist that I always am. We don't need rockets anymore. Like, come on, man. We could have done away with rockets decades ago. We could be on anti-gravity platforms that are just using electricity, counter-rotating electromagnetic fields to tap the 0 point. I could go on. Just wanted to say that. It's coming. It's coming, most definitely. This is cool, but what's coming our way in the next, I'd give it like 5 years, man. Term 2. POTUS Term 2. It's going to be incredible. And it's already coming. The Navy's already filing their patents. They're already, the swamp's got to get drained first, but Term 2 is going to be fun. And that's when a lot of this stuff is going to start coming public. And I think they're going to sell it to the public with the quantum. They're going to call it quantum. That's how they're going to sell free energy, that buzzword that'll help them start disclosing this stuff, quantum energy. It's a good way to kind of subtly get free energy out into the public domain, I guess. And we'll see how they try to roll out these other technologies and disclosures. It's of course, a very careful subject. It's very intense to tell people their news is fake. So just take that a level deeper and start telling them, well, pretty much everything's fake, like all that science too. It's a shock to their system. So they got to do this carefully, but we'll be patient. We'll be patient for that. And that's pretty much everything for this one, guys. So much appreciated. Thank you for watching. A lot more coming. And it's about to get fun. Best is yet to come. See you, everybody.